Yeah. Well, good afternoon, morning, evening, or night, ladies and gentlemen.
Ooh. Welcome to the Jar Media Podcast. This is
360 bounce, baby.
Xbox 360.
Yeah. Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't even consider that.
This is the
done
360.
For the intro, instead of the normal thing, can we have the...
Oh, yes.
That. Hello, Xbox.
Yeah, happy
It
Easter,
was.
Xbox.
Like, people forget how just everything the 360 was. It was the best.
It was the best
It was
time.
ruling, man.
Let's see, as a contrarian, because people love pointing out I'm a contrarian.
Because it's true.
No, it's not true. It's not true. Let's not talk about the German gym thing again. I'm going to die on this hill, okay? But on the peak Xbox 360 era,
Bruh.
yeah. But I experienced some of it while through the proxy of being a PlayStation 3 owner, and it was different. It was different.
Do you think it's still like that on the playground, but now it's just PS5 and I guess Switch?
No, it is.
Bought
My
an Xbox.
nephew is just like, you have a PlayStation, loser.
Really? What side does he take?
He's an Xbox player. He has an Xbox.
Really?
Yeah. So
Okay.
he mocks
They
the fact
still-
that I have a
they still
PlayStation.
exist.
I guess it's so baked in to the...
But now
Culture.
the arguments are more intense because they're in their own shared lobbies, so they see each other's different consoles. They argue in matches.
Oh,
I feel like
course.
that's going to gradually break down the walls and like...
I always dreamed of that, though. I always
Yeah.
dreamed of like a game where the Xbox players could go against the PlayStation
Yeah,
players.
that should be like a feature you can like search in.
It should be like,
Yeah.
like in COD, it's like a game mode you can search in or something.
Yeah. Console v
That
console.
would be hilarious. No one wants to go against PC players because they've got
Yeah.
the huge advantage. But anyway, yeah, this is the first episode of the year where I'm not ill, which is nice.
Wow.
And hopefully not. Even though I'm going to be doing a bit of bouncing, hopefully it's not going to be breathing into the mic as much as well.
But I'm still ill.
It's getting you bad. You got to get some
yeah.
echinacea down you.
I
Some
do.
vitamin D as
So
well.
will this
Yeah,
be a
do.
year where we are all ill over one episode? There's always a gap, but we're all ill.
I'm not sure if
Just
that's ever
different
happened, has it?
It's
Well,
impossible.
all being ill in the same
Yeah.
intensity on the same day. Probably just wouldn't
Apart
do it
from
if
the
it was-
hungover one, which I think counts.
Yeah, it kind of counts, but it's self-induced.
Yeah.
Mm.
That was a good one, though.
I'm kind of expecting to get ill soon because I just got back from London.
You're gonna
That'll
go.
do it, yeah.
Typically,
Yeah, I
yeah.
always get ill when I go to cities.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because we just got those country immune systems
Yeah.
where we have like one pathogen in our body a year.
Before we get too deep into the show, let me shout out the Jar Media patrons over at the Patreon. They make the audio version of the show possible and get their special patron names, usually goofy, usually silly, read out in the first or second week of each month. We've already done it this month, but you've always got next month, which is coming up sooner than you think. We have got some craziness to talk about this episode, but first, as usual, some housekeeping to wrap up those conversations from the previous week. Joe Jones 3301 can get us started here. As much as James hates politicians and capitalism, as soon as he has to pay money, he suddenly becomes prime minister level at dodging the hard questions while still refusing to pay his due. Well played.
To be
So
fair,
true.
if I had money to give, I would pay my dues. But I currently don't have money to give.
That's the most politician thing
Yeah.
I've ever heard.
You should actually
Yeah,
Fly.
go into it.
yeah.
Lib Dem James.
Green Party James?
Yeah, I would be Green Party, and then I'd also get the Conservative votes because it'd be Green Party James owns the most uneconomical car humanly imaginable.
you just drive around in the Laurel everywhere.
That's my controversy.
With taxpayer money.
Yeah.
Yeah. Dylan8664 says, the parasocial aspect is just unavoidable, honestly. This is in reference to last week we were talking about. There was a question in I think it was the Reddit bit, about like how we deal with that or how we think about it.
Yeah, I remember.
They said, honestly, it's up to the viewers to not be degen freaks about it. I've been listening since I was in year 7 and I've now turned 21. I've always loved your content and thought it was really cool that Jim and Alex had lived in Jersey, where I've lived all my life. I enjoy the content and leave it at that. It's good to have the Reddit and comments to engage with the community, but some people just take things too far, like with the Discord. Keep doing your thing, gents. Wow, there's actually a Jersey
Yeah, the
Jarling.
one
That's
Jersey
crazy.
Jarling.
Wow. I really want to go back
That's
to Jersey,
Yeah, me too.
even if it's just for like a weekend. It's so small.
It probably is like a weekend destination.
Yeah,
Just head over.
yeah.
A long weekend, I reckon. Because you got to get over the seasickness, because it's choppy ass waters out
Yeah,
there.
it is actually.
Yeah, true. Depends.
Yeah, triple islanders over here.
You're not an islander.
But conversely to that one, you're an islander.
I'm
You
not
were literally an
islander.
islander.
I've had many.
We're more islanders because we lived on Jersey, which is even more of an island than
And New
this
Zealand, so we
island.
got the trip.
I've
Yeah,
talked to many Jarlings, and some people message me sometimes like, no, they're wrong about an islander. They're not islanders. And I'm like, yeah, I know. Tell me about it.
Jersey is an island.
A Jersey's an island, but you're not an islander because you live in Britain. Anyway, that's an old subject. Like, come on.
But yeah, in kind of the inverse on that same topic, there was this comment left from Relicio. On the topic of the parasocial problem, I can't help but think that it's also kind of your fault. The entire cast is formatted to maximize viewer interaction, and with the exception of Housekeeping, the entire show is just viewer questions and comments. Of course, I'm not really one to talk, I'm literally doing the exact same thing. But if you want to see less of it, then stop incentivizing this behavior in the first place. I didn't say I had a problem with it.
Well, a problem with what? If someone's like looking up where we live, I think it's okay to you're not invited to do that.
Yeah.
I think in any situation with anyone ever.
But I would say with Jar specifically, as compared to, say, even IHE as an example, is like IHE's a character, your character, but when we're on Jar, we're very more lifelike. So it is a different way to interpret that.
But also,
it's not like we brought it up at the beginning and we're like, this parasocial stuff's just gone too far. It was like we were just answering like a question.
Yeah,
It's not like we were whinging about it.
but
that's
that's kind of what that's what Jar is built on, is interaction back and forth with the listeners.
It's like an ongoing conversation.
Yeah, and that's good, and we love that. But
We do.
if there are steps that can be too far.
There can be, yeah.
And
But it's
that's-
just like it's like I know there's a lot of Jarlings in the community who are car people, and it's like I don't feel there'll be a parasocial thing there because they're just going to talk me about a shared passion, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like instantly I'm going to be chill with you, and I am. There's a lot of Jarlings.
It is,
I've talked to
it's
about
always
cars.
like a vocal minority that are freaks, you know? The freaks.
Yeah, the freakoids.
Stone5815 has our penultimate one for this section. Glad to see the return of the weird camera angles. Yep. I get too comfortable after a certain point. I need some craziness, you know? Need a little bit of nuts.
We don't really have a status quo.
No. As soon as it gets too status quo, we gotta mix it up.
Mm-hmm.
We
Gotta do something
evolve, we
crazy.
change, we adapt. The paradigm shifts.
Shunned Weevil 9 can end this segment then. I also went to a Sikh holy building called a Gurdwara, I think. Yeah, that was it. When I was in secondary school, as a respect thing, we were required to wear a head covering / hat. I completely forgot until minutes before I left for school, so I grabbed the first hat I could find. Unfortunately, that happened to be a Joker-themed graphic snapback. I still cringe about that because I must have been 14 or 15, which is far too old to wear / own that, let alone as a sign of respect.
Oh my god. Heath.
Yeah. I gotta put my hands up and admit something. When I was like 14, I had this Joker shirt that I loved.
I do
Heath
remember.
Ledger, yeah.
We've all been there.
I've not been there.
I feel like that's when you're allowed to do cringy stuff. You know?
Yeah, you're allowed to. You are allowed to. I just think my parents would cringe at me, so they never bought me anything like
Really?
that.
But Joker was like on Vogue then, in like a different way. He hadn't been like memed quite yet, you know?
Yeah.
Like he is now.
In hindsight, it's quite strange how people latched on to, especially that portrayal of the Joker.
The Heath Ledger one. Like the scariest one we've ever seen. The most like,
just like
realistic,
this, a
frightening.
terrorist. And everyone's like, yeah, let's go. I want to be him.
Men want to be him, women want to be with him.
Be with the Joker, baby.
Well, we got Joker 2 coming this year, so we can
This year?
explore that topic. Yep.
Nice.
Correct. So, we got a JARChive to start the year. Yeah.
Oh, we do.
A post on the subreddit can get us going here from Meiko Tonijima 11. Anyone else sick of the AI usage? Whenever AI is used in the cast now, it's just eye-rolling. The thumbnails are especially bad. Random jar nonsense will always be better than looking AI. Edit. I didn't want nor expect this post to get so much attention, but since it was pretty unclear in the original post, the problem I have isn't specifically with the AI stuff looking awful in the thumbnails. Jar thumbnails aren't really spectacular. It's the fact that it's specifically AI using the work of others. In the grand scheme of things, it's a random podcast using AI for some silly images, going to have a massive impact. Not really. But it perpetuates it and feeds the AI more, which is especially unfair for real artists. That's all I have to say. Oop. And, who's this? Jar James left a comment. I agree, I'll verbally abuse Alex over it when I next see him. Ain't supporting this shite for real. And this was an interesting conversation. I guess I'll read what I left a comment on there. I'll read what I said. This is fascinating to me. As others have correctly pointed out, the quality flaw for jar thumbnails is basically non-existent, and snagging random PNGs off Google is about the same level in my mind as using Photoshop and Bing AI to expand images and generate random creatures. There are countless thumbnails from the past year using some kind of AI element or filter that no one noticed or cared about unless it's blatantly obvious, like the Spider Market one. I do think it's funny while we're in this early era of scuffed rudimentary AI generations, and while it is scary, I don't know if it's really Jar's fault that the unregulated technology has been unleashed into the public and is pouring over social media. Nor, at the very least, our impact on that space is less than minute. It's not like we're switching to AI for everything, and I only use it occasionally when I feel there's something funny to do with it. Should I stop using the built-in Adobe Audition AI tools that do clean-up click passes on audio too? The line here is very weird.
Damn, PR Alex. Putting in the hours.
What do you think, Jim? What comes to your mind?
Jamie, you explain. Explain how your feelings.
My feelings are, like Alex said, our thumbnails aren't, we're not Mr. Beast, you know? The one time I've been in charge of a thumbnail, I stole our own thumbnail.
So you were like being the AI and
yeah, I mean
that's
essentially what we do, you know?
Yeah,
we just find
shit
stuff and cram it in. Whether it's either Alex doing it or an AI. Like I don't really see a difference. I don't know what this means. This like the AI stealing people's art.
Okay, so the greater problem with the AI conversation is mainly that people would go to these AI tools, upload a bunch of an actual artist's work, and then generate new AI work that's basically learned exactly off of some very real artist's work. That's the bare bottom. That is the simplest way to explain the thing that's the issue with AI art, and I'm fully in agreement that is not it, and I don't stand for it.
Yeah, that's cringe and lame, and the whole AI thing has a real... It just sits in the same pocket in my mind as like NFT bros and this kind of shit, and you see these cringy people on Twitter who are like, look at this new generation, and they're like carrying themselves as if they're like artists. And it's like...
You're not.
No,
you're not.
But one thing I will point out is, and I could be wrong on this, but I think the AI built into Photoshop doesn't do that. I'm pretty sure it's using pictures that Adobe own. So the things that are generated it's not stealing in the same way that like DALL-E does or whatever.
Yes. Yeah.
So.
But when you say it's steal, is it taking?
Yes, it's learning. It's using them as references to learn from. So it's taking that style.
I don't see that as stealing, though.
That is stealing. Because if this, the best example is there was an artist, she did really lovely art, and she passed away from cancer, I think, 2 years ago. And then people started taking all her artwork, putting it into the AI, and then basically generating new work in her name. But she's passed away. You know? That's the problem, because it's learning entirely based off of some specific artist style. And by doing that, it's like replicating that without the soul and the actual intentions of the artist.
Is it equally as bad if a person does it? If a person copies someone else's style?
Yes.
It's like I didn't think so at all.
No,
it was Picasso quote, you know, like bad artists copy, good artists steal.
I think if you're just seeing someone else's art and then you're using their artwork to train your AI to be that,
but
what I drew
to train your AI,
Yeah, it's weird with AI, but that is like the fundamentals.
Or you talk about art in
inspiration.
general. Yeah, the inspiration part of art. But then it's like people aren't going to directly copy their style. It's going to be their own thing. Everyone is inspired by other artists. But the issue with AI is not inspired. It is using that artwork as a good direct ground to generate new from. That is what inspiration is, right? I don't
You're
think
giving the AI inspiration.
It's not, but it's not inspiration.
It's the same process, but like automated by like robots.
Yeah, that's what makes it weird. But I mean, it doesn't ring alarm bells for me. I don't know why.
Well, it's like, for me, it's already like over. It's like I saw an advert when I last went to the cinema. They're putting ChatGPT in cars now. Like they're building it into cars.
They are.
It's like, well, this completely unregulated, crazy new tech is just here now. And
but
cool.
Yeah. I would argue that you using it for jar thumbnails is a bit different, simply because obviously we're using it for is not, we're not like trying to sell it or have accounts dedicated to art that is all AI generated.
Yeah.
There is a slight difference, but I do understand that the wider picture that AI poses is where the problem is, and I do agree that is where, and I'm fully in support of actual artists here.
And in out of all of the AI usage in the jar thumbnails, there is only one that is fully generated and not touched or changed in any way. There's only one, and that's the Dobby, like in Italy one.
Yeah. I think
that was only funny to me because that was just before they put all those filters on Bing AI generation where you could just generate any copyright material. Yeah. And that was hilarious to me. But like the Spider Market one, for example, the AI usage in there was mostly in Photoshop. I used the expand tool, which I'm sure you've seen, where you can generate like a crazy useful tool that. So I used that. I generated the background, and I generated the spider on DALL-E, and the rest was on Photoshop. But then it goes back to like the stealing angle, where we are stealing basically every jar thumbnail just off Google Images, and sometimes they still have the like Shutterstock logo in or whatnot. So for me, that's why it wasn't.
I think
just think about it a bit differently.
If we had been like paying someone to do our thumbnails and then got rid of them to start doing AI, then I think that would be like a moral problem. But I don't see there's a massive step between Google searching images and then having an AI generate images from the same pool. And it's pretty much the same thing to me.
What is interesting to me is what I said in that comment. I've used it in a bunch of thumbnails and no one even noticed in the past year. Like, I'll give an example. The one, I think it's called Jordan's Beef. Every single element is AI generated on that. But it was all using Photoshop AI and arranging it or doing whatever. And that one had the inverse comments where people were like, that's a funny thumbnail. So it's like, we're already at a point where we can't even tell. We don't even know like what what is
entirely. It's just these completely AI generated ones just have an uncanniness to them that makes them look terrible. And that's the main thing is, as a YouTube user, it doesn't matter if you're my favorite content creator. If I see an AI generated thumbnail, I'm not watching the video. That is my baseline. I'm not watching the video. No way am I going to. That's how I stand on it, because a lot of these channels are actually channels that are big.
Yeah.
So in which case they're getting rid of someone who's probably paying to be doing those jobs. So yeah, you can yourself.
That's the thing though, is like the thumbnail meta is already so on YouTube. It's like deep fried, saturated like faces mostly, and like trains falling into holes, and it just it basically all looks AI generated anyway. Using a bunch of it already.
It looked that way before AI was even being used for that. Like, look at go right now onto Mr. Beast's videos and scroll. Like, they are all like the same. They look like they were made by an algorithm.
His whole channel's made by an algorithm. Let's be real.
And I don't know. I get where people are coming from, and AI is definitely a problem for sure. But I'm more just like putting my hands up. Like,
Well, ultimately, we don't make a difference, and we're not using it in a way that is immoral. We're not trying to pretend to be artists. It's literally just shit posting thumbnails for a shit posting YouTube channel. It's very different. But if that we ever cross that line, I'd naturally have a very big problem with it.
And there is, unless regulation, which won't happen, is implemented, which stops it, we're going to reach a point where we genuinely can't tell what is generated, and that's already happening. Like, it's becoming an issue now, like scamming with videos, generated video, Jim freaking out, saying he's in some kind of problem, send it to Nana on Facebook or whatever.
Yeah.
Scammer out of a...
Yeah, it's...
I saw a video the other day of Todd Howard of Bethesda talking with Lex Friedman.
Oh, yeah.
And Todd Howard was like, yeah, we basically, when making Skyrim, were just partying every night and barely did anything. And from just that alone, I was like, oh, this is fake.
Yeah.
And then I opened the comments and everyone's like, wow, he really just went and said it. Wow, finally he said what people have been thinking.
People just believe in it because
people just believe in it.
They already have a conclusion. It's like,
but like the AI voice was made, and they had like AI generated the mouth to lip sync, and you can tell if you actually look. But the majority of people in the comments believed it was real.
Yeah, a lot of people don't have the eye for this sort of thing.
Yeah, or don't care to. It's like,
which is why it's dangerous.
Yeah, you can't look at anything surface level anymore.
No, you can't. But as someone who's always greatly followed and enjoyed like art and actual art, doesn't matter what it is, it's disgusting to see, and I just don't like it.
But I mean, this sort of thing has been happening for so long with like so much of YouTube content, like those and TikTok. That's like I did this prank on my boyfriend. It's like, well, obviously fake. Like reality TV. You watch any of it and it's like they're setting this shit up to happen and then pretending like it's real.
Yeah.
So all these people...
It's all like produced.
Yeah, everyone's watching it and thinking, wow, this is real life. And it's like, no, you're skewing your understanding of reality by engaging with this sort of shit.
Mm-hmm. I know this is a part, but I know there's a lot coming forward of AI. And I'm going to say that I think dying on this hill of, thumbnails and art is one thing, but there's horrifying dangers that we're only just seeing, which is obviously what young men can do with pictures of their classmates with this AI technology. That is the straightforward problem, and that's going to be horrifying and so many people up.
Well, it doesn't even need to be school kids. You can just make revenge porn of
like
someone.
that guy on Twitch.
Yes.
Oh, right. Yeah.
If it's like, if you've got a voice against this AI shit, you've got to put it there, because that's actually like life ruining shit, and that's going to traumatize people. It's going to be horrific. So it's like, if you're going to get a voice for AI content, that's the one you need, and that's what you need.
It's
The sooner that gets regulated, the safer.
So, going back to my comment where I say about I do use an AI tool built into Adobe Audition, which allows you to quickly scan over the entire recorded file and pick out certain mouth noises, and that is an AI tool. But I guess what the issue is that it's not referencing images and making a new one.
Yeah, I think
it's still scary though.
It is still scary, and I think the main thing is with AI, the best way to go forward with it is that it's not being used to replace people; it's just being used to assist in the process of making.
But I don't know how that's even possible, because by the nature of what it's good at, it's replacing something a human touch, like video editing will be.
Yeah, but I mean that's been happening with everything since before we were born.
Like, the industrial revolution has been that entirely.
Yeah. It's kind of just human progression.
Mm-hmm. It's similar to like it's a little bit different, but just the trajectory of the internet and when that appeared, and it was like, yep, this new thing. Yeah,
carrier pigeons out of jobs in an instant.
Let's not regulate this. Let's just see what happens.
Yeah, just put it out there. But I think it's kind of natural, and we were always going to get here. I think we're all just shocked at how soon we've arrived.
And there's something existential about it, going straight for like art and culture. The stuff that like you always imagine that like it's like the most human.
The capital G, currency G, whatever the it's called. But cultural capital.
It kind of enhances reality though. Because, like, if you disconnect from everything and, like, just walking past, like, a busker. Like, my mind's on this, because there was a guy playing the saxophone in the underground in London.
Yeah.
And, like, he was all right. Just, like, that real. You know? And he's doing it for change, and it enhances those real things. You know? That actual experience outside of... the internet, because that is not reality, and it hasn't been for a very long time.
But yeah, I'm not gonna really use AI particularly.
I still
for
haven't.
Thumbnails.
It's like,
forward.
but at the same time, you've done it. You've used it for your coursework. You've used it for your essays. Don't lie. We know you have, because I have. So come on.
For your questions to Jar.
I just generate all this.
It is the thing. Is just like, oh, you've got to send like a Christmas message to a family you hate. You're just gonna AI generate that. Come on.
Yeah.
We're all using it.
There was a reply to my comment, which is quite interesting, from Blimey Corvus. I'm interested in where the bar is too. AI scrapes the internet for guides and existing works to grow. But isn't that how people also learn and interact with art? It's more than a little unnerving seeing a part of myself in such a lifeless creation. I don't think that artists' complaints are invalid either. There should be a way to exempt your work from being scraped. Still, are you stealing others' work when drawing off a reference image on Google? I am learning how to play my own music by ear by listening to lots of songs and transcribing them. When I create my own music, how can I avoid stealing all those artists' work while inevitably being influenced by them? Keep in mind that this is licensed, copyrighted music. On the contrary, I could never absorb the sheer amount of data AI uses in its models. With how primitive they still are, it's like seeing our collective human experience in the mind of a toddler. Honestly, it feels like our learning model is just a much more refined and efficient version of theirs. I'm not sure how to approach the best point against AI, though. They don't exist in a vacuum. While the models themselves are fascinating, the human corporations controlling them to an extent are completely unregulated, as you've said. All that said, what a crazy period of time to be living through. It's captivating and terrifying at the same time. Great way to summarize that. I know people get fed up with a consistent AI thing, but I can't stop thinking about it. I can't stop. It is fascinating to me, like how quickly this is coming into our lives, and is like just a tool we can use now. And I think that I identified the core of the issue there is like, yeah, you should be able to opt out. Like the fact that it's just
definitely.
All this copyrighted stuff is just in there.
Yeah, that's an excellent point.
There should be like, because obviously most art nowadays is there's people who do art on paper, which is great, love it. But a lot of people are using programs. So it should be that if you're posting your artwork, there's an option that codes in a line of code, which means it's completely removed from being scraped. It's the common sense. But
and that even makes me think like, if all of your drawings are on a computer and you're using like custom paintbrushes and like using smoothing and stuff like this, assisted by computers, does that make it less of your art then? Is it a combination?
I don't know enough about.
Is it just a tool?
Making art on like a drawing pad and stuff.
I find it very interesting, and I think the blame is just big tech.
Yeah, to me it depends how much like individual control you have. If it's almost analog and it's like, if I use this tool, it will always have this effect. But if the computer is like, I'm going to just adjust this here and like have its own sort of input, then there's less on the artist actually making it for like every detail to be their own.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, interesting times. Be nice if we could regulate some of this stuff. That'd be awesome, but too much money to be made. Have you seen how much money all these tech companies are making off this AI progress? Just boosts all their stock value. So
yeah, it's quite tricky to predict where it's gonna like end up.
Mm-hmm. I just feel like powerless in the whole situation.
Yeah, we are ultimately powerless.
Yeah. I think the only way to escape it is to disconnect.
Or a protest, I guess. It's going to wind up like Deus Ex, like, you know.
Yeah, but I mean, even then, if you're a company and people, I mean, obviously, unless government gets involved, but if people are engaging with the AI systems and like it, and there's far more of them, what reason is there to go against it?
Yeah, I hear you. Well, let us know in the comments what do you think, and we'll be back after these messages. Yeah.
Life can be a dick sometimes, so get your dick from out your hand. And don't be a dick, wear a dick. Dick the Head t-shirts available now. Check the description below. Yeah.
Oh, you go to the Waz. Oh.
Boing, 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 boing.
Boing, 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 boing. Boing, 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 boing. Oi, 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 oi. Boing, 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 boing. Boing. Boing, 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 boing. Huh? Oh, doing.
You gotta keep going.
Boing, 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 boing. Boing, 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 boing. Boing.
Huh? That sounded like
Am I AI copying?
It sounded like the music from Prometheus.
Mm-hmm.
Do 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 do.
Boing, 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 boing.
I love Ridley.
Napoleon boing. Alien boing.
You know, they're doing an Alien TV show now.
Really?
Yeah. With the guy.
It's milked enough, isn't it?
Yeah, it was like not scary anymore.
No, they've really. I mean, it wasn't scary from Aliens, really. No, actually, it was pretty scary.
There's some scary bits. So, a woman like.
No, the bit when they're in the bit when they're in the locked room with the face grab. Or
Yeah,
whatever
that's what's in.
the face. What are they called?
Face hugger.
Face hugger.
And the funny thing is, I was reading
I was thinking head grab.
the character that refers to the alien as the xenomorph. You know, it's the bootlicker businessman guy.
Mm-hmm.
He's the one who says that, and the line was supposed to be a joke that he was saying it because he's the like gross businessman guy, and he's like already come up with the like term for like, what it is so he can sell it.
Yeah,
but like it's caught on, and everyone just calls them it now.
Wow.
Instead of just the alien.
How do you feel about James Cameron these days?
I think as far as these like spectacle directors that only care about like technology, like Jon Favreau or Robert Zemeckis or whatever, he's one of the few that actually like delivers on it.
Yeah.
I don't really like the stories of Avatar that much.
No, they're pretty boring.
But there are plenty of shots that are like so technically impressive and sell the effects. I just wish it was in service of something I cared about a bit more.
Yeah, he's really got an eye for action as well.
True,
that
yeah.
whole action at the end of Avatar 2, the ship sinking.
Mm-hmm.
God damn.
Yeah, it's great.
He really sells like the weight and power of those big motherfuckers.
Mm-hmm. And
yeah,
when
pretty sick.
When the what's her name? She's like the main.
Yeah, she kind of got
Avatar.
shafted in the.
Yeah,
sequel.
she did for the lame kid characters.
Yeah,
she was like one of the better parts. Like when she goes all scary and it's like, oh, these things can be kind of freaky. If you show them this way.
Yeah, she goes beast mode.
So we'll see the lava guys next. The lava Navi.
Yeah,
I made a joke about that on the Sardonicast review, and then it was just like a few weeks later revealed. That's
really? Yeah, he's going through like the Mario worlds.
Yeah, he's doing like the earth, wind, fire.
Well, it started
water.
off with like grass, forest type, and water type, lava type.
He's going through the biomes,
Yeah. It'll be like the mushroom Minecraft biome next. Mushroom cows. Yeah. Avatar boy.
I feel like lava's like quite a lot more limiting than water, because you got like the whole angle of like
Going
exploring the
underwater and
lovely ecology of like what's underwater and the whales and all this like what's living in the lava. Nothing can live near volcanoes really.
Well, it's actually really like fertile ground around volcanoes.
Yeah, the soil is. But yeah, I don't know. What are they doing? Do they use the heat coming off of the lava to like fly
around? Yeah,
fly machines or something.
Like Zelda, like parachute with the air currents. I want to see some. They already fly birds though, don't they?
They do. Lava birds, I guess. Next.
Lava birds.
Well, so that's
I
obvious.
associate snails with volcanoes for some reason.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know why.
I just think of Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
Or Mustafar.
Boing, boing, trying, boing. Double, triple, quad, boing.
James got real.
He said he was peeing.
Well, I think pee has become poop.
We're running out of time.
What time does it start?
4:20.
4:20? Wait, he's still peeing?
Apparently. Is he one of those guys that pees like twice a day? Oh shit! Woo!
The child. Speaking of the child, have you seen that lame Star Wars announcement?
No.
That Jon Favreau's directing. It's called The Mandalorian and Grogu. It's the title of the film.
What, a movie?
It's a film, yeah. Merchandising, baby.
I mean, they really should have called it The Mandalorian and Baby Yoda.
Yeah.
More people would go and see it.
Probably, yeah. That was definitely like floated, like on the flowchart of like the names getting it to a
if
point.
not just Baby Yoda.
Those are the last two, yeah.
Do you remember when that show was like fire?
Mm-hmm.
Like the sickest thing.
Yeah.
It was so exciting.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. A lot of it doesn't hold up that well though now. So
Really?
I rewatched some of the first season a year or two ago. The volume shots are just sometimes so obvious. You know, this dome thing that it created.
Really?
I think that's what we finished Andor the other day.
Mm-hmm.
The production design is just so much better. They're going to all these locations. They're up in Scotland. They're in London.
Yeah.
And it makes such a difference because that show's just not going to look bad. You know, you revisit it in 5 years and it's still going to look fantastic, where there's all these aged elements already.
But why can Andor afford to do that as like this show everyone is expecting?
The way I interpret it is that the more popular The Mandalorian got, the more like fingers in the pie and the more like, oh no, you can't leave the Baby Yoda thing after season 2. Like, we need him. You know, we gotta, let's...
Yeah. Awful
Whereas
idea.
Andor is like, I bet the internal like belief in it was extremely low. So they were just like, well, you're just gonna do what you want, I guess.
Yeah, but surely it costs more money to like fly the cast and crew out to Scotland and film on site and like have to go by
It depends.
the
'cause,
weather
like,
and daylight.
Think about like
hours
the
and-
cast in Mandalorian. I bet they're a lot more expensive than like the random British character actors in Andor.
Yeah, that's true.
It's just like efficient filmmaking, I guess. You know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I genuinely think they should have just like left The Mandalorian for a while.
Did you even watch season 3?
No,
It's not good.
because I saw the bit in like randomly in Boba Fett. And that whole show was a train wreck.
Mm.
Again, contributing to me not even wanting to start Andor.
Yeah.
And
I think that's going to
season
screw
3.
the movie too, because like we saw with the Marvels debacle, where you needed to watch like 2 different shows. You see, it's all this investment. It's like, what?
Yeah, it's too much.
So to even keep up with this plot in The Mandalorian and Grogu, like,
I don't know
what is the checklist.
I don't know what they're going for.
Mm-hmm.
Like who likes that? Who likes that
It's a problem
entertainment
is-
being researched?
And that has been like an ongoing issue meme with like comic books forever. Like they go on and there's all these like stories and it gets such a mess. They just have to reset at a certain point. It's like so fucking messy.
I'm fine.
Yeah.
I'm fine. Hurry.
Call of Duty, Black Ops.
Call of Duty's doing it too.
Doing what?
The Disney thing. They're like interweaving all these
that
stories.
Shit, yeah.
And like,
yeah.
I remember it used to be like Modern Warfare 2, Black Ops, different thing. Black Ops.
Yeah, they're
2.
allowed to be in different silos.
Yeah.
So they could have different.
Yeah, so then
styles, they could have different.
And it's less engagement, like less.
Yeah, you need less. You don't need to do homework.
Yeah, I can't think of the word.
Welcome to the second half of the cast, where we head over to the Jar Media suggestion thread on the subreddit and answer some beautiful questions like this one from Clara Bellum. It's the end of an era. MatPat is retiring from the Game Theory channel, so the question now stands: who should take over as the host?
Game Theory?
Yeah.
I guess his wife.
Well, I think that's part of why he wanted to quit, was because like he was saying, yeah, like every time I'm sat with my wife, it's just talking about work and talking about strategies for the channel and blah blah blah.
He's
blah.
been on it for a long time.
Yeah, he's a machine, that guy.
Yeah.
So like 3 or 4
I guess,
channels.
yeah, he's probably trying to prioritize his relationship instead of his career. And
It's not like Game Theory is going away. It's just other people will be running it now.
It won't be the same.
No, it won't.
He's like.
Well, what has he got to prove on that front anymore?
Get Markiplier on it.
Get me.
Get Markiplier on it. That's my 3 cents.
Oh, I don't want to support a homie out. Thanks, bro.
You're just too controversial.
I'm not controversial.
Well, how could you make FNAF lore videos?
He's true. Okay, fair. You make a
The
fair
second
point.
he appears in the FNAF movie, he retires. Maybe he just felt like, well, what else is there to even do?
Yeah.
You know?
He made it as an actor.
Yeah.
That was his original plan.
I just picture like in his mansion, he's got this wall with a big space ready of like, just take a frame of him in that movie and like,
Yeah. And is like a spot for his Oscar.
yeah.
But that's just the
3D
theory.
printing Oscar. Sven says, if Snail suddenly had udders and snail milk became readily available, would you try that milk?
Snails?
Yeah.
No, I wouldn't try the snail milk out of the snail udder.
We've remarked before about how the more you think about it, the more unusual it is that we're just chill with drinking cow tit milk.
I don't drink cow milk.
I drink pig milk.
No, I drink milk from the teat of an almond.
Like, what was that? There's that character in Game of Thrones where their lore is like they drank the milk of, what is it? Giants or something, and it made them like really big and strong.
The
Makes
mountain.
sense.
I think it's the wildling guy, the ginger guy. I think
he drank giant milk.
and it made him big and strong.
That would make sense. Yeah.
So maybe snail milk would make you small
Slow
and slippery,
slow, small, and slimy.
Sloppy.
and sensitive to salt.
No, I wouldn't drink snail milk.
Yeah, I wouldn't
For the
either.
record.
I'd be curious.
Well, it would be like, how? Are there
changing into
mammalian
mammals.
snails now?
They evolve into mammals. Is that possible?
Yeah, I'm not sure about that one.
But then Ratatouille PG replied to that saying, if James suddenly had udders, would you try his milk?
Yes.
No, you wouldn't be trying my udder. I wouldn't let you. That shit comes with a premium.
You're going to keep that to yourself.
I'm gonna keep that my udder to myself.
Okay, here's a hypothetical.
Well, we do have an udder. It's just not milk.
Christ. Here's a hypothetical though. Your SO, your wife, your girlfriend, whatever, is pregnant, and there's milk. Would you try?
I think that's one of the main reasons to get your partner pregnant.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. James?
I think that. Well, it saves those like early morning trips to.
Yeah, so come
To
on,
Costco or
just go
whatever.
with your tea.
Yeah. Or coffee.
Yeah, I don't know. Honestly, I'd have to take a decision at the time.
Yeah.
You won't see Mad Max?
I've seen Mad Max.
I think the curiosity would get the better of me. Let's have a little shot glass.
Wait, shot glass? Would you not just go straight from the tea?
Pint glass.
Straight from the tea. I don't know. There's something about that that's a bit.
Yeah, that's Homelander.
Oh yeah, that is true. That is from Homelander. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not sure about that one. This is a weird one from Bjorno Pizza. If each of you were turned into cute little birds and trapped in a room with Billy, the cat, who would get killed first
Jamie.
and who would live the longest? The room is outfitted with things for Billy to climb and snatch you up, so evasion is your only option. That's the end bit that I'm confused by. Would you choose to reproduce to save your bird lineage, even if you knew that those little birds would only ever get to experience this room of terror with Billy for the rest of their lives? It would be 3 male birds though.
You're going to reproduce with each other.
Yeah. I guess they meant maybe there were other birds.
Yeah.
Maybe the window is open and a few other birds fly in for a minute.
If the window's
Then
open,
Billy
I just
closes
fly
it.
out the window, to be fair.
I mean,
Well, I think that
the thing is, if
Billy's
Billy's
a bit of a lazy shit, so it kind of depends on...
if she had
She
that
gets the
many
zoomies
birds,
though, bro.
No, it depends. Because
if she's
if
had
Alex,
her Geo and
No.
her Bickies, man, give it a few hours, she's digested.
You know, this is
Had
what
a
I'm
little
saying.
nap.
It depends what kind of person is feeding her. Because if there's 3 different people feeding her and none of them communicate together, she's going to get 3 lots of Jill and Bickies every day, and she's not going to want to hunt birds.
No, but the way I see it in this room, she's trapped in there too. She has to eat us. She has
Right.
to eat something, otherwise she's dying. I'd let her eat me. If I'm a bird, it's like, well, I got nothing to contribute.
So who
I'm a
would,
bird locked
who
in a
would get
room.
killed first and who would live the longest?
I would sacrifice myself for Billy.
You just
so
fly
I'd die
straight into her
first.
mouth.
Yeah.
And
Well,
she'd-
but
she'd-
then if I'm like down there just like chilling with her, she might not kill me because it's all about the hunt.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
So I'd have to kind of like
You'd have to pretend to be scared.
to run away or whatever.
Yeah. And that'd mean you'd live the longest, because you'd be like, oh, I've got to put effort into getting killed now.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. It's too much. Yeah, really interesting question. Thank you for asking that.
Thought-provoking, one might say.
Yeah. Yeah.
Intellectually stimulating, perhaps, even.
Yeah.
Poo on Face says, can Alex please acknowledge that he accidentally skipped episode 357? It's messing with my OCD brain, thank you. Well, if that messes with your brain, don't go back and look through all the numbers with much scrutiny, because you're going to go mad. I think, yeah, I made the mistake of counting Cringemas as an episode, but whatever. It's already done.
Yeah.
It's done.
It was on a Monday, so it counts.
I've joked with you guys before, like, should we just have next episode be episode 630 or something, you know, just...
Yeah. Get into the big leagues.
Like, who cares, you know, just
If we jump a number and we like, there's like 2 years between jumping that number, nobody's going to go back and be like, oh, is this actually episode 370? You'll just be like, okay, this is episode 690.
Yeah, people understand us now.
Yeah, we've got to take every 5 years. We've got to take a big jump towards Joe Rogan's numbers. We've got to compensate for those 5 years of
we just got to add
Joe
1,000
Rogan.
here or there,
Yeah.
now and again. This is an interesting one from Vil de Greitan. Hello, Jar Boys.
Hello.
What do you think is the most overrated and underrated animal?
Overrated
Dolphins.
golden retrievers.
No. They're underrated.
And I think they're not.
They're not underrated.
They're not. They're literally
They're rated
guide
exactly
I'd
how
say
they
they're
should be.
perfectly rated,
dogs.
yeah.
Yeah, they're guide dogs. They're useful. They're cute.
Overrated?
Dolphins.
No, the big rats.
No.
Capybaras. Overrated.
No,
I
they're
would
fine.
No, they suck.
Why? Why do they suck?
Because, like, everyone thinks, oh, they're just so chill. They're just so chill. No, they're unaware.
They're
They
a bit
don't know.
regarded.
Yeah, they don't know what's around them. Regarded.
I said regarded. I said regarded.
Yeah, they're not capable of like being chill and nice because they're just like stupid and unaware.
But like, you could say that about like cats, couldn't you?
No, cats are like sociopaths.
So surely they're overrated then.
No, they're aware.
Cats
They-
are overrated unless it's a Bombay.
Yeah. Yeah, cats can be overrated.
Yeah.
There are some overrated cats. I mean, Case in point.
My underrated one is Borzois.
I don't even know.
I
what
love
Borzoi is.
Borzois. There was a Borzoi
really
in Poor
thin,
Things.
like really white, fluffy ones.
They're a Russian breed that was bred to hunt wolves. Yeah, they're incredible.
Oh,
They got
yeah.
really long snouts. They kind of look like greyhounds.
They're like
with a long
cryptids. They
coat.
look really cryptic.
Yeah, they look like a fancy creature.
Yeah, but they're majestic. Like they're
awesome.
Stunning.
Yeah.
Cute.
I'd love one, but apparently they have this weird behavior with their really long head, where they always when they want attention, they flick their head up. So all the Borzoi owners have all these injuries and bruises because they go under there and go smack.
Honestly, Gaius has done that to me and given me so many nosebleeds. I'm used to it already.
So imagine how much worse it would be with the boars. I've got a underrated animal. The wombat. I love wombats. They're hilarious.
Yeah, you don't hear much about wombats.
You know they poo cubes.
Really?
Yeah. Their poo is a cube. I'm serious, bro.
No, you're lying. Did you AI generate that response?
No, because of course I was googling wombats the other day, and wombats they have a what the fuck was I even saying? Like I just completely lost what I was saying.
Cubic poos?
Yeah, right. Yeah. No, Google recommends
Articles.
when you're searching something. Like I just searched wombat, and then I saw in the suggested things it was wombat poo. I was like, why are people searching for wombat poo? That's fucking weird.
How do
How does a bowel create a cube?
Yeah.
No, I'm serious, bro. Look.
The hell?
What?
They are kind of cubic. Yeah, look at that guy.
That looks like brownies, like chunks of brownies.
But that's not even the end of it, because I found out wombats also have a specific defense mechanism, which is the craziest thing like I've ever heard in an animal. So they burrow, right?
Yeah.
I'm not sure if they're marsupials, but they probably are.
Are wombats the ones that were saving like other animals during the Australian fires?
Oh, it might have been,
bringing them into their caves.
That's right. Yeah, using their burrows.
Yeah.
But their defense mechanism is linked to their burrows, where when threatened, it will escape to the nearest burrow, where it can defend itself by crushing a predator's head with its rump against the roof or wall of the burrow.
Yo.
In the open, an adult wombat can usually hold its own against a single dog, but is overcome by a pair or pack of dogs. So they twerk you to death.
Wow.
They crush you.
Let's go. Wombats are fire.
Fuck.
So I think that's the underrated animal.
I would, they shit cubes and they twerk.
It's like you see, you look at a picture of a wombat and you're like, that thing can't do shit. That's just like a walking steak. And then of course, because it lives in Australia, it's got all this like crazy. It poops cubes and twerks you to death, crushes your head with its ass.
Maybe that's how it gets like the cubes.
From like it's compressing its shit in its ass.
Yeah. I can't think of an underrated animal.
Really, must be something.
We're
not partial to
XL Bully.
Oh Christ. Yep,
underrated.
We can do it.
Overrated.
There's loads of overrated ones.
Overrated. Friendly
Overrated
fire here. Corgis.
Yeah. They are overrated.
They're
not very nice.
I think that's what's funny about them to me.
Yeah, but
They
like
have super strong personalities.
It's not what I was expecting.
What you expect is like the Dibby. They're like overly cute. Like,
that like eats a mushroom and hops around.
Yeah.
I wasn't expecting Argy. Like I now that I know what Argy is, I'm cool with him. Like we've got a mutual understanding.
They're not dogs. It's weird.
No,
I've never called him a dog. I just call him the mammalian.
Yeah. He's not a dog.
He's got a bit of wombat in him.
I was looking at a dodo in the Natural History Museum when I was in London, and it had this like side-eye glance, and I was looking at this dodo, this like dodo reconstruction or whatever. Maybe it's a real dodo. I don't know the dodo, but it was Argy.
Really?
I was looking at it, and it's like the color of its eyes and the shape of its eye.
Maybe he's a bit bird-brained as well then.
Yeah, he's more than mammalian. He's just got bits of everything. He's like part horse. Yeah. Donkeys underrated.
I saw a couple of donkeys at Christmas.
They're nice.
Donkeys are really cute.
But don't let them bite you.
Yeah,
Don't let them bite you, and treat them with respect. Don't put too much on their poor backs.
Yeah, be nice.
Yeah, I like donkeys.
Yeah, I think that's fair. Do you think Shrek hurt or helped Donkey?
I think
optics?
Shrek helped Donkey optics.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you're right.
I think because he lays with the dragon.
That's true. He pulls a dragon.
Yeah, like that's kind of fire.
And then has hybrid mutant children with the dragon.
Yeah.
And he makes that biological. He's so powerful. He just biologically.
He's like the most powerful Shrek creature.
So is that the fairy tale nature of Donkey? Is that he can like impregnate anything?
Yeah. Oh, how messed up is that? Shrek, I'm looking down.
JJDC says, a question for the Jar fellas. Do you think that in the future memes are going to be studied in a similar way like other pieces of culture and media? For example, like how literature, plays and films are studied today. Are there going to be textbooks in schools about the influence of the trollface epic sax guy and Damn Daniel on our culture?
I think maybe not specifically on a specific type of memes, but I think there will be.
I think one's attached to significant moments.
Yeah, like Ted Krasinski. If there's going to be definitely a study into the meme culture of him and the obsession people have with him when he was a terrorist, you know. So that type of memes are going to get like researched because it shows more psychologically than it does epic sax guy.
Yeah, and I'm thinking like the terrorist in New Zealand who had all the stuff on his weapon,
yeah, which is meme culture.
Well, I don't even think it needs to be even that extreme. Like, say it's 100 years in the future and you're watching The Boys. There are scenes in The Boys that like use memes and reference memes. So to understand that, you would have to understand meme culture.
Yeah.
So maybe there will be.
Yeah, I can't imagine where that sort
meme
of culture
historians
is gonna.
You know, they say that like the kids that are in school now are likely going to be doing jobs that don't exist yet. So maybe meme historian is coming up.
I feel like that's a job for us when we're older because we would have seen them. We would have seen the early days.
Yeah, bring meme chat back.
How about masterclass?
We can do a TED talk about memes.
Yeah. Meme chat masterclass.
There's one I want to end on by Bloodcock 2. With the talks of Red Dead 2 from Alex, I'm curious, what about it does Alex and Jamie like so much? I played it once and I loved it, but on repeat playthroughs, I really do feel how repetitive and linear the story is. Nakey Jakey video captures it pretty well, but even exploring the open world gets dull because there aren't many random events to keep things fresh. They're really just 3 variations of help someone that is kidnapped, suck venom off of someone, or save someone from a bear trap. Sure, you can hunt animals, but there are just a random chance of waiting for them to spawn, and then you just use your eagle eye and follow a line. The random events thing is wrong. There are way more than 3 variants. Yeah. There are countless, and some I still have never seen before that are surprising me.
I think they function way better as random events as well because they are scripted.
Yeah.
They have like a little story as opposed to like a random event in one of the miscellaneous quests and
yeah.
Skyrim.
There's definitely like the Nakey Jakey video about the mission design is definitely like completely valid.
I just think we're not at a stage with video games yet where you can have the level of storytelling that Red Dead 2 has, and also the freedom of like Zelda.
That's the trade-off in my mind. Is like yesterday, for example, I did that mission where you go to the there's like the feminist protest mission, and like you don't really do anything in the mission. You just kind of listen to dialogue and drive a coach, which is not a very engaging bit of gameplay. But I'm so invested in the world. I think the dialogue is so well written. I think the plotting is so good. And like, you know, like Starfield just came out, and like there's never a moment like Braithwaite Manor or the attack on the oil fields or like these things that like every few months I just go and watch those missions on YouTube because I think they're so like impactful and
and you impressive. Can't have those moments. Like Zelda is the open world total opposite to Red Dead, where like
Or like Elden Ring.
Yeah, Elden Ring. And constantly you feel this... Elden Ring's probably better than Zelda for the most part in like big moments, because it also has the big castles and stuff. But that you don't have these high intensity moments like you and a gang walking up to Braithwaite Manor and shit just popping off and this stuff happening around you. It's not so much like story focused. And if you're invested in the story, and like when I really like a movie, I will watch it multiple times. I don't complain that it's repetitive, because it's literally the same thing. You know?
Yeah. And I'm on my third playthrough of Red Dead 2. I still haven't had an identical playthrough in terms of like the way I've gone through it, which honor way I'm going to lean, which guns I'm going to use, even which just order I do things. There's like
and like styles of Arthur, like facial hair and clothes.
Yeah. But you could just be like fat Arthur if you wanted.
Yeah,
your horse fat. But then there's there's gambling. There's all the challenges you can do. There's all the bones and the dream catchers and all this stuff you can find.
There is plenty of game in the game.
Yeah, and I don't really agree with the. It's like that thing you see people who post on like game subreddits, like referencing Starfield. There'll be a post that's like, so I'm at hour 1,150 and I'm just kind of getting bored. Like,
yeah,
you know.
Yeah, we do expect a bit much sometimes from games. Like,
yeah, I think considering its age, how well it holds up, how good it still looks, all this stuff. I've yet to find an open world that's as immersive as that for me. For different reasons, yeah. Because if I want that pure gameplay, it will be an Elden Ring.
Yeah, and there are things I would change about Red Dead that I think would make it more sandboxy and utilize like every mechanic more. But at the same time, they would directly clash with the story and
the intent.
The focus is there. And that is the intent. Like it's a story game.
And I was thinking about like, remember like the first playthrough of that game, you're like so bad at it and you don't understand the way it's kind of built. So like you're always like crashing your horse and like going flying and all this stuff. And it's like, now I don't think I've even crashed once on this playthrough, because I understand how it's built and the way the AI is built. And like when you're on your horse, it's like, it's not like a car. It's like a creature you're riding that has its own sort of AI. So if you're like running through dense trees, if you take your finger off the stick pushing forward, it will not crash into a tree if you are not directing it against its like AI pathing.
Which I think annoys people because they want to be in total control. But it's kind of an immersion thing where you are like controlling.
That's what Elden Ring's for. You press left and Elden Ring, your horse is going to go.
Yeah.
But I like that dedication to the animation and the weight of everything. So.
It makes it part of the game as well, because to me in Red Dead, traversal is like part of it. You know, and especially when you have an encounter with enemies, the awkwardness of moving around the world plays into the challenge of combat. Because if you're riding a horse and trying to shoot dudes, and you direct your horse into a tree, you're getting like shot up while
you get like cool impromptu moments you weren't anticipating. Like I was hunting something when I was playing yesterday, and I was like just about to get it, and then these bounty hunters attacked me. It's like all like this chaos, and you're like have to scramble to you know.
And I think the best way to play that game is with a bounty on you.
Yeah,
like in
that's
every
what I'm
state.
doing. I've got a bounty everywhere. Yeah,
and you never pay it off. I think it should be much harder in the game to pay that stuff off. I think money should be rarer in the game. Because like when Dutch is talking about like just one more job and you've got like $9,000 in your satchel, it is kind of stupid. That takes away from the story a bit. But the fact that we can talk this much about it, and we could talk for much longer about all of our like little experiences.
I could probably do like a 6-hour podcast on
just talking about it. And James would really, really be interested in that. So we're going to do that next episode.
And don't invite me on it. I've not played it. I'm never going to.
You're that confident. Why have you shut it off? You loved Red Dead 1, bro.
I did love Red Dead 1. It was a different game, it was a different era.
Okay.
But yeah, you can talk about Red Dead. I'm happy. But it's just difficult to talk about when I've not played it. I have no idea about it.
Well, I think that's the end there, guys. Any final words for the listeners out there?
Believe in yourself.
Believe in your money.
Set a goal and really go for it. It's the new year, baby. New you.
New Year's resolution: be more
brutal.
you. Yeah.
Be more fire.
Yeah.
Let the fire burn within you and burn the embers of
Love
time.
yourself a fire. All right, girl.
All right, girl.
Exercise! Exercise!
Yeah.
I got the country group.
Conversation, please. Remember me.
Band.
What?
Me saying the word dopamine. People hate it. People don't like me saying the word dopamine.
I think I might have some kind of like filter that like blocks it because I don't notice it. Do you have it? Do you notice when James says the?
It's a word I use a lot, and it's just because
You do use it a lot.
It just is perfectly usable to explain why.
Switch it
why
to
my brain-
no, there's another like happy chemical. There's dopamine.
Oxytocin.
Oxytocin.
No,
There are others
oxytocin's
as well,
that's
though.
the sexy one. That's what oxytocin is.
And dopamine.
Yeah.
Everything
Everything.
your body like is pleased with you doing. It gives you a little.
Yeah, it's just like if our entire existence is based upon dopamine, why can't I use it?
I get hella dopamine just from being touched.
Yeah. I get dopamine from chess. I get crazy dopamine from chess.
Yeah.
I get crazy dopamine from like the most.
We've got to
Also-
try and get a game in before we go.
In intense chess matches, I even almost get the, you know, when you're doing a Dark Souls boss, it almost gets to that level.
Yeah.
I get the most dopamine generally from making really bad financial decisions. That's what fucking sends my brain alight. Which is
You need to come to Vegas then.
Maybe not. Maybe you should be banned from Vegas.
I don't want. I shan't dare dip into.
No,
the,
I was thinking about it yesterday, and I was like, it was getting to me, like the thought process of like, what if I just won like 50 grand?
Yeah,
It's like-
I was thinking that. Like, what house am I gonna buy when I get back?
Yeah, that's how they get you. Though,
After putting like £5 down on the blackjack.
No, but that's what I've been doing in Red Dead, is like practicing on poker.
Yeah, we need to get the poker set out and do some.
yeah, well,
practice.
so you can lose again. You can lose again.
Yeah,
No, that's
I
what I
won,
mean. Though.
baby.
Like, you almost have the biggest advantage when you don't know what's going on.
Yeah, because you don't overthink it. You're
you
like a
can't
bog.
read someone's bluff if they don't know they're bluffing.
as long as there's someone there who actually does know the rules. If everyone doesn't, you're
Yeah,
just like,
You've got to be a wild card. You got to just.
yeah. Well, it's like fighting you in Killer Instinct.
Yeah.
You know? It's like, I don't know what he's going to do next because he doesn't know what he's going to do next. You know, I
Out of
can't
the
read
blue,
you.
you just you lose instantly because I do one move that I accidentally did.
Yeah.